Hey guys, and welcome back to another week of Dear Piggy's Java tutorials. So in this week's videos, we'll have two. They might be slightly longer, but we'll only have two. So we will work on switch functions in this video and then try catch in our next video. So let's go ahead and jump right in for switch functions, okay? So switch functions, we did a example of this in JavaScript, I believe. So if you watch that video, you'll have some sort of familiarity with that. But basically what switch functions are, they're basically functions that do different things based on what you give. So basically, they're going to be different outputs based on your different inputs, okay? So this is something that is constantly changing. So there's not just going to be one set action. There are different actions depending on what is going on, okay? So this is more flexible. The code does look a little bit complicated. It looks long, not complicated. But you'll see a lot of it at the end is repetition, okay? So let's get started with a basic switch statement. So let's go ahead and go to Replit, start coding, log in, and create a REPL. So the first thing that you'll notice about our switch statements is that we need to pass something in. So if you look at this picture here, you do switch and then in parentheses day. So now this is kind of boring, obviously. We don't want to do day, okay? So say we want to do something more fun. So anyways, you're going to have to pass in some sort of variable. This is going to be your inputs. Remember how we mentioned that our switch function is going to change based on the inputs? Well, this variable that you pass in your parentheses here, that's your variable. Okay, so let's go back to Replit and let's try this out, okay? So first, let's go ahead and just write the basic web. So this basic structure or outline. So switch some var variable here. Then that's it. Now in here we'll have different cases. Now these cases are basically going to be what determines what's going to happen. So depending on your variable, you'll have different cases. So you'll have case and then whatever. So say, let's do the first example. Easy peasy, quick example. So, but hopefully let's try to make it fun. So int puppies. So we will say int puppies and let's set it equal to, what's a reasonable amount of puppies? I'd say 2. Most people have around 2 puppies, give or take. So case puppies 2. So say we have case 1. So in this case, we would say if puppies is 1, then go ahead, system.out.println and say, yay, you have a puppy. Consider getting your puppy a friend, right? Because 1 is never enough. Okay, now another case is 2. So say they have 2, in which this case is correct. System.out.println. You have 2 puppies. Great. Buy another one. I'm just convincing people to buy puppies now. So let's just say case 3. So case 3, we say system.out.println. Is your family very fond of dogs? Right? So now you'll see that depending on what the value of your variable here is, you'll have different cases. So let's pass in puppies here. So if we pass in puppies, that's our variable, right? And puppies in this case is 2. So when we pass in puppies, is it going to be case 1? No, because your puppies is 2. It's not 1. So it's going to ignore this. Is puppies 2? Yes. So it's case 2. So then in this case, you would say you have 2 puppies. Great. Buy another one. And then in this case, is puppies 3? Nope. So it's going to print, is it going to print out, is your family very fond of dogs? No, it's not. But there's a catch. So watch as I run my code. When I run my code, it should give me you have 2 puppies. Great. Buy another one because puppies is equal to 2. But what does it give me? So let's give Replit a second to load. And then once you see the answer, let's see if you can figure something out and kind of do some problem solving. Okay, Replit is being awfully slow today. That's not normal. Let's reload the page. Honestly, we should add a case 0 because I don't have a single puppy, and I think that is one of the most tragic things in my life. So I feel like I should do that. We should probably add a case 0 in a second. So there we go. It says you have 2 puppies. Great. Buy another one. But then underneath it, it says, is your family very fond of dogs? That's kind of misleading, right? Because if we look at the code here, why did it print out both cases 2 and 3? And here's the reason. And here's the next segment that we're moving on to. Once you print, you find your case, it executes what's going on in that block, so in that case. But it doesn't get out of the loop. It doesn't exit the loop. It just keeps on going and moves on to the next case. So watch, if I were to do a case 4 puppies, you would probably say like system.out.println and say like, that's a lot of puppies. A lot of puppies. That would be for case 4, right? But if I run my code, and keep in mind here that puppies is still equal to 2, okay? So puppies is still 2. And instead of just getting you have 2 puppies, great, buy another one, it's actually going to give us more this time. It's going to give us all the way until case 4, that's a lot of puppies. So now we know our problem. Once we execute the case, it's not exiting, okay? So it's never exiting the switch function. So how are we going to solve that? Well, the answer is the break keyword. So every time if we put a break keyword underneath a case, that means that once that case has been executed, we exit the switch function immediately. So that means that we won't get this problem where it just keeps on going down the list, okay? So notice, guys, that I did not put break underneath case 4. And why is that? Well, the reason is because when puppies is equal to 4, it executes case 4, but is there anything after case 4? No. So it just automatically exits the loop no matter what, which means that whatever last case that you have, do not put break underneath it. Why is it giving me a red line underneath this? I need a semicolon. There we go. No, it's not the problem. I have a semicolon. Okay, we'll ignore that for now because it looks like the code is still working. I will figure it out for us in a second. Funny. Let's reload the page. Maybe it'll work if we reload the page. I know Replit does do some weird things with a red line sometimes. There we go. Now it's gone. Okay, run the code and let's see if it works now. So now it should only print out the message from case 2. And yes, it only prints out you have 2 puppies. Great, buy another one. So yeah, this, guys, is a basic switch statement. We've created our switch statement. We've learned how to make it so that it doesn't just keep on moving on cases. And this is a basic switch statement. So yay, congrats, guys. Couple more slides that I want to go over with you. I think I'm going to squeeze everything into one video because why not, right? Okay, so the next part are switch functions with common cases. Okay, so say I'm looking through puppies and I'm getting lazy, okay? I don't want to write messages for every single case. So say case 4, 5, 6, I always want to have the same message. And instead, well, I could do it this way. So say if I wanted to have case 4, 5, and 6 all equal, all say that's a lot of puppies. I could do case 5 and then Control V, case 6, Control V. I could do that. That is one way. And you'll notice that if I do like 5, it's going to work. But that's rather repetitive, right? Kind of takes up a lot of code. It takes up how many lines it take? 1, 2, 6. So it takes up 6 lines of code. And I forgot my break. So hold on. Break and break. Okay, so what is a way to get rid of these extra lines of code? Well, here's how we're going to do it. If you have common cases, which means cases where you want to do the same thing, give the same output, just stack them on top of each other. So case 4, case 5, case 6, all of these are going to do, that's a lot of puppies. So if you stack your cases on top of each other like this, then it's going to do whatever comes after that. And since this is still our last case here, I don't need break. So now watch when I print it out. It's going to give me, drum roll, that's a lot of puppies. Okay, now say I change 5 into 4. Let's run it again, and it's still going to give me, that's a lot of puppies. So see now that every time I change it, whether it's 4, 5, or 6, it all does the same thing. And we only use 4 lines of code, okay? So easy peasy lemon squeezy for common cases. Just stack them like Legos on top of each other, okay? The last idea that I want to go over for this lesson is the default keyword. So the default keyword is kind of like our backup plan, or what should happen when none of the cases are met. So say this person has an insane amount of puppies, whether it's 0 or it's 10,000 or 10 million or 99 Dalmatians, or is it 100 Dalmatians? I can't remember. Okay, so in that case, we would use default, and default means everything else. So anything else that's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So we just do this. Oh, remember we need the break keyword. Go ahead and say default. I can't spell default. So just like you would write case, except you would do default. And then system.out.println. You either have 0 puppies, or a lot of puppies. Okay, there we go. So now default. Say I change my puppies numbers to 0. Is 0 included? Is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6? No, it's none of them, right? So now that is where you're supposed to go to your default case. So it says you either have 0 puppies or a lot of puppies. So great, wonderful. Change it to, like, what number is that? 10 million. So if I had 10 million puppies, that would be the death of me. It still says you either have 0 puppies or a lot of puppies. Okay, so guys, that's our switch statement video. I think it went by faster than I thought. Again, we reviewed how to use a switch statement by passing in an already declared variable. We learned how to do cases. We learned that we have to put breaks after each cases, except for the last one. We found out how to do common cases. So if you want to print the same thing out for multiple different cases, you just stack them like Legos, and default. So if none of these cases are it, then go to default, okay? So that's our switch functions lesson. Simple, lots of code, very repetitive, but it gets the job done, okay? I just realized that I lied at the beginning of the video. We have a mini project with switch functions next, so we'll do that. And then after that, we will work on error handling, okay? So I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.